Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like Q always say, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that?
Jameis, how you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much. John DeShazier, NewOrleansSafe.com. Jameis, you mentioned that you had to somewhat suppress some ego in going into this decision. Do you feel like that's something you needed at this point in your career to have an ego check?
No, I don't think I ever said anything about an ego check. I think I mentioned humility, and
Okay.
one thing about humility is everyone needs to be humble. Everyone needs those humble experience, and throughout my entire life, I started from very humble beginnings. So it's definitely it's another chapter in my life that I'm going to learn from, and it's going to make me better.
Hey, Jameis, Rod Walker from the Times-Picayune. What made the Saints a good fit for you?
Well, we have a Hall of Fame quarterback and a future Hall of Fame coach. That's very intriguing for a young quarterback like myself. And also, I've been playing against this defense for the past 5 years, and they continue to get better and be dominant. This is a Super Bowl contending team, and I'm just happy to be a part of that.
Hey, Jameis, my name is Fletcher. I work at NBC WDSU TV. Who did you speak with about the decision? Was it a hard decision? Was it an easy decision? Was it your agent, your family, a little bit of everybody? Because obviously there were reports that you had more lucrative offers, but this you felt like was the best situation for you.
Yeah, it was a little bit of everybody. During this time, I've got married. I've had numerous conversations. I've been doing a lot of different things. A lot of people are going through a lot, but I think all the wisdom and guidance I got from others kind of helped me with this decision. It really was easy in terms of knowing the quarterback room that I was going to be in, understanding that I love this game with all my heart. So despite a lot of different things that come with this game, like money and celebrity status, I think one thing that Derrick Brooks taught me through my time with him from Florida State to now is you got to respect the game, and the game will always be bigger than you, and the game will always win. And in my experience of being a football player, professional football player, the game has won. So I just wanted to honor that and be a part of this organization, be in a quarterback room as prestigious as the one that we have now, and be the best football player, be the best teammate I possibly can be.
Hey, Jameis. Who that family? What's going on? What's happening with your family? Good to see you in the chat. Much love to you. Who that to you? And all the beautiful black and gold family members in the building chiming in with you on this episode of the Sports Coma. Much love to all the family members. Hope y'all been having a fantastic week, man. Been a lot of rain locally. Of course, the conditions of the country going on right now. Hope everybody's live and well on this middle of the week show. Big ups to the family members, the beautiful black and gold family members. Much love to our Patreon champions, the champions in the building as well. Good to see a lot of the beautiful black and gold family members chiming in this one as I open the middle of the week show that's entitled Big Bro Drew Helps Them All, because he does, thanks to Drew Brees' mentorship and the lending of his resources, trainers to Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is significantly richer financially, football wise, than what he was originally before he came to the New Orleans Saints. So you got to thank Drew Brees for that. Also, look at Drew's assistance with Teddy Bridgewater and how he was able to come of I guess you could say maturation as well. And expect more of the same from Jameis Winston. We're going to cover that today in this episode of the Sports Coma. Please bear with me. My internet is not the best of internet right now, so I'll try to get through it with your chats and questions as well. Big ups to you, Tramal. I see you. Who that fam? Kenny Sutton. Who that to you? 985J in the building. Who that to you as well? Good to see you in the live chat as well, family. Let's see who else we got. Dominic Evans. Who that to you, Dominic? Good to see you in the chat as well. Much love to you. Big ups to Ricky Edmonds. Who that to you, Ricky? I see your family as well. Who that to Dramal, Jerome, Carlito. Good to see you as well, Carlito. Much love to you. I see you in the fam, in the building, fam. And Like I said, my internet's not the best right now, but we're going to keep working this thing, man. You can't stop us. Much love to my boy, Carlito, James Combs. Who that to you, fam? Big ups to James Combs in the building. My dog, Jay Combs in the building. Much love to you, fam, and support through this time of great difficulty, bro. Proud of you. Keep yourself strong and stay up. Donovan Grayson, Derek L. Caution. Who that to my brothers and sisters out there? Tori Shepard. Let's see what else we got here. Shandon Roy. Oh man, Teal. What up, my boy Teal in the building? What up, Teal? Good to see you, family. Much love to you as well. Tori Shepard Sr. Man, so many of y'all. Rodney Ramsey Wars. Who that to you, fam? Gerard Stevenson. I see your family. Paul. What up, Uncle Paulie in the building? Let's see who else we got. Jesse Jackson. What up, Jesse? How you doing, fam? He says Q Winston's going to have to apologize to Lattimore. You got to apologize to Lenny Williams instrumental. Kevin McKnight, who that to you as well. Big ups to the beautiful Black and Gold family members chiming in this episode of the stream. So hold on, fam. Hold on here just a second, family. We're gonna keep on going. Like I said, I'm experiencing some issues, so I'm gonna see if I can switch on to a more stable internet. So just give me just a second. Okay, there we go. All right. If it happens, let's see how we keep going. Okay, we're experiencing it. We're going to keep going, family. But in this episode of the Sports Coma, that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the signing of Jameis Winston. A lot of people, and trust me, man, I've been following the chat, looking at the chat. A lot of people do not like this signing. You know, they don't like the fact that Jameis Winston's on the team. And a lot of people saying, Q, just give the man a chance. Give the man a chance. Give the man a chance. I see you there, Damone. What up, Damone? Big ups to you. Who that to you, fam? And a lot of people don't like the Jameis Winston signing. I'm going to keep it real with you. I think the Jameis Winston signing is going to be a good signing for the Saints. And I'm going to kind of compare it to the Teddy Bridgewater signing, even though Teddy Bridgewater, to me, is not the same quarterback. You know what I mean? Teddy is a little bit more stable in terms of personality wise and that's a great way to put it, to be honest with you. He's a little bit stable, a lot more stable than what you see a guy like Jameis Winston. But perhaps Jameis Winston is like that, simply put, because he didn't have that same Hall of Fame quarterback and that what I can say, that support system. You see what I'm saying? That support system around him. You have Drew Brees as the mentor. You have Taysom Hill, who can reinforce it as well, and you have that support. He can sit behind Drew and learn. Now, I'm not saying that he's anything else but a backup. I'm not going to get into all that stuff about him eventually going on to be the quarterback that takes over once Drew leaves, because that's still open till debate. Because right now, as you can see, Taysom Hill is a weapon. He's fantastic. He's awesome. And I think a lot of people is kind of getting confused about what I'm saying about Taysom. And most of these people come on and they don't listen to the whole catalog of content that we've been covering over these many years dealing with Taysom Hill. I don't understand why they're not. But so let me say it again. Taysom Hill, to me, is an excellent football player. He's very talented. I love his physicality. I love his infectious nature, how he loves the game. And he has an electricity about him that electrifies the fan base, the team, and he is awesome. He's a great dude. Then that's on the record. The issue I have is the fact I have an issue not with Taysom at all, but with the Saints, because this guy is not a wide receiver, even though he does it really well. He's not a running back, even though he does it very well. He's not a tight end, even though he does it pretty decently. He is a quarterback. And any room you put him in that's not the QB room is a disservice to him. That's my statement. A lot of people saying, Q, why you don't like Taysom? I've never said I've not liked Taysom. I said Taysom is awesome, and I think it's the Saints is the reason why his development as a QB has stalled out, because they're using him in so many other ways, which is unfair to him as far as his quarterback potential. That's all I'm saying. Jameis Winston is going to be interesting, because I would think the Saints would have went with a more experienced veteran quarterback there. When you bring a 26-year-old quarterback, a former first-round draft pick with all of the tools and weapons that Jameis Winston has, I mean, come on now. I mean, he can throw the deep ball. He's accurate when he wants to. Yes, he can run the ball. The problem with Jameis Winston is his discipline. At times he gets erratic and unfocused. That's something that Breeze could teach him. How, Q? Based upon his routine. The mental aspect of the game that I harp on so much so on the show. Focus. How are you supposed to become better every day? How are you supposed to reach your most ultimate form every day? Every day is supposed to be you getting inches incrementally better than what you were the previous day. Not wake up and continue down and down straight. No, that's the mindset of the most successful people in the world. What's the goal of a thousandaire? To be a millionaire. What's the goal of a millionaire? To be a multimillionaire. What's the goal of a multimillionaire? To be a billionaire. What's the goal of a billionaire? To be a zillionaire, and so on and so forth. It steps all the way up until you transition. So I'm saying in football terms is that Jameis Winston has all the tools. The mental aspect of his game is lacking, is inconsistent. Not saying the guy is stupid, because he's very intelligent. Not saying anything else, but he made mention of the fact that he got married in an attempt that might calm him down a bit. But all the off-field issues, the on-field issues, is something that I think will stop, because this locker room, led by Drew Brees and other like-minded people, can help this guy develop. Now, I open the show up with that just to kind of let people know how I'm feeling, because I've been getting a lot of emails. I've been getting a lot of comments in the section about Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill and all this kind of stuff, saying that I don't think Taysom Hill is good. I'm like, where do these people come from? I just need to put all their asses in a rocket and shoot them at the moon. Let them sit their ass up there and think about it. Big ups to the family members in the building. Derek Allen said, "What's up, DA? I see you, fam." My dog tuning in on the road. Big ups to you, fam. I see you. Neville, what up, Neville? Kelvin Griffin, what up, Kelvin? I see your family. Big ups to you as well. Jerome, what's up, Jerome? I see you, fam. Cap Manny 2020 says, if used correctly, I think Taysom will flourish. No doubt about it. And that just shows you how awesome Taysom Hill is. He can, even the guy has limited exposure as a wide receiver, but picks it up, catches the ball with his hands, breaks tackles on the run. His route running ain't as crisp, but it's gotten better if you watch his tape over the last couple of years. And not to mention the fact that he merely touches into different rooms, picks up enough to effectively go out and contribute. And might I add, hopefully Sean Payton and the brass use Taysom Hill more at the quarterback position this year. Hopefully, because he needs that. He definitely needs that. Let's see who else we got. Troy Thompson and the rest of the family members in the building. Good to see you. Larry F. Dickerson Sr., I see your family. 504 Easy, much love to you. Who that to you? Superstar Louisiana boy, I see your family as well. Big ups to all the beautiful black and gold members in the building. Jordan, who that to you, Jordan? I see you as well. Big ups to your family. Good to see you in the stream. For all those who are on the stream that have not subscribed, please subscribe and join the Great Saints Think Tank, also known as the Sports Coma, where we have critical thinking and analysis on our black and gold team and how they can improve to get better. And we just love talking Saints, man. So if you want to talk Saints with us, we invite you on in here. Join the Great Saints Think Tank. But anyway, we're going to keep it moving, family. And we're going to cover a few stories today on the Sports Coma. And some of these stories is at the head of it. I opened the show up playing Jameis Winston. That's something I just wanted to sprinkle on the family members. And you heard Jameis at the start of it saying, who that? That was kind of weird to hear him say that. But man, the guy's on the team now. So, you know what we're going to talk about, but we're going to cover that in the show today. As Jameis Winston reaches 1-year deal with the Saints, is a pretty agreeable contract. Big ups for Sean Payton doing that. We're going to cover that. We're also going to talk about the cap casualties. Much love and big ups in the sports coma and great Saints think tank. Shout out to Bob Rose, who had a great article called New Orleans Saints Potential Salary Cap Casualties. We'll go over his article, and we'll have Bob back on the show. He's a friend of the show. We'll have Bob back on the show probably sometime in the next 7 to 10 days. We'll get him back on and get his thoughts on the draft, get his thoughts on some of the signings after the draft, and see what he thinks about the direction of the team. We'll get more into it. And of course, finally, like I said, we played snippets from Jameis Winston. As you can see, he is a New Orleans Saint. We're very weird world we living in to see Jameis Winston, who certain plays, I just have to get them out of my head now. Like the play when he took Cam's face mask, when Cam brung him down, sacked him, and grabbed Cam's face mask to pull himself up while slamming Cam's head into the ground. Y'all remember that one. Or the play where he stuck his finger in the back of Marshawn Lattimore's helmet, and when Lattimore turned around to confront him, he got speared by Evans, Big Evans, the wide receiver from Tampa Bay. Some of those plays stick with me, but he's no longer on the enemy side. He is a Saint now, and we gotta let that ride. Okay, good to see you, KT. What up, KT? Good to see your family in the building. Your boy Cuts, who that to you? I see your family. Good to see you as well. Demi, hello, Demi. How you doing, Demi? Big ups to you, Demi. Much love to all the beautiful Black and Gold family members in the building. I'm having some internet issues. My internet's not that good, so we still gonna work through this here thing. Y'all just be patient with me. Hit the like button, and those who aren't subscribed, please subscribe as well. So we're gonna go back into it. We're gonna start off with the Jameis Winston story about him. Now, of course, we know Jameis signed the 1-year deal with the Saints, and what's interesting, I think, about this is the fact that if you notice with this deal, it's a 1-year deal, and it's very, very cost effective. Very smart move by the Saints to get him. Just didn't think that the Saints will go after a guy like Winston, who, in my opinion, I thought that, you wanted to get a veteran quarterback, not to have this type of environment where you would have people thinking, oh, well, he's a veteran and we won't have a QB controversy. But it was reported by ESPN's Phil Yates that the base value of the deal is $1.1 million, and with a salary of $952,000, a signing bonus of $148,000, and he can earn anywhere between $3 to $4 million in incentives. So we'll see how it goes. He's 26 years old, and he's looking for the same type of renaissance to his career that Teddy Bridgewater experienced in New Orleans over the last 2 years. Teddy was supposed to be the man. Teddy went to Carolina. Jameis Winston's, by all account, is a better quarterback than Teddy Bridgewater. I got to say that. Teddy has a better attitude and a better track record in terms of being productive and being a guy that is a balanced guy. Jameis a little on the wild side early on, various incidents, but that's not saying that he can't pull it together now. That's not saying that he can't. And I was thinking about it, and what really kind of changed my mind, well, not changed my mind, I always give people a chance, but to me, number one, is better than Josh Rosen. I'm just gonna be real with you. I'd rather have Jameis than Rosen. I'd rather have Jameis than Flacco. I'd rather have Jameis than Newton, to be honest with you. He has all the tools. He's still in the prime of his career. He just needs to put it together on the mental end and I think that'll be helped out by the routine that Drew Brees has. And because I've seen other quarterbacks like Taysom borrow that routine, and it has helped them out exponentially. What's that routine? That routine is the meditation aspect of the game, the visualization aspect of the game. These things happen at the mental level. If you can control the mental and focus it, you can get outstanding results. That's the problem. There's a lot of distraction, a lot of noise in our heads. Meditation helps quiet that noise. It helps, then we can be able to focus where we need to be to do what we need to do. And I think Drew Brees is one of the most masterful at doing that. making sense of the football aspect of it. And then if you look at his life, very steady, very successful, because you could take that thought process and apply it across the different realms of your life. And Drew Brees has mastered that. That's why I said Jameis Winston will sit at his feet. You listen to that interview I played earlier today with him mentioning Hall of Fame Drew Brees and future Hall of Fame coach Sean Payton. That's what he said. And he acknowledged Drew first because he has to sit behind Drew. And that's probably going to be the first time that you ever known him to sit behind a quarterback, period, to learn. And it's going to be a fantastic experience, man. Now, he was a former #1 overall pick back in 2015 and was displaced in Tampa when they signed Tom Brady last year. He had 5,109 yards last year, and he became the first quarterback in the NFL to throw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. So, it's a good and bad with that. But you heard what he said. We played him. The Saints are welcoming in. We expect him to split duties with Hill as the backup quarterback, and we'll see just how well he can excel here. Remember, under Bridgewater, they're 5-0, so hopefully nothing happens to Drew Brees. Nothing happens to Drew during this upcoming season. We protect him and keep him upright because this is going to be a fantastic and interesting year. But getting Jameis Winston, man, getting his head straight, you could possibly be embarking on something very, very serious with Jameis Winston. So we're going to keep it going, family. We're going to keep it going. Next topic we're going to cover is New Orleans Saints potential salary cap casualties. Of course, why this is pertinent because the signing of Jameis Winston and where the Saints currently sit, just under $4 million in salary cap space. If you don't know that, according to various reports. Now, New Orleans will need the money to sign, of course, the draft picks of the 3 draft picks, 4 draft picks that they have, the Cesar Ruiz, the center, and of course, everyone else, the tight end and Baum, the linebacker, to bring those guys under fold. So they just have 4 picks to sign and turn into the draft and undrafted guys, but a lot of that doesn't count. So New Orleans Saints will need to sign their recent draft picks, potentially make more moves along with the pending 1-year deal from Jameis Winston. Now, the Saints have been experts at juggling the finances, and usually they're doing so by restructuring contracts of higher-priced veterans. New Orleans could also move from some of their veterans to create cap space for other moves. A difficult decision is which realm of people are next to get the hammer. Now, according to Sport Track, and this is what Bob Rose has, is Larry Warford's at the top of the list. Larry Warford is at the top of the list to get chopped off. And of course, we were thinking the Saints were going to trade him. They ultimately didn't trade him. They still have him on the team currently, and he seems the most likely to get the axe. Now, this dude is coming off of 2 Pro Bowls. He's 28 years old. He can still contribute to a team. And what the Saints might try to do is trade him. If they can't trade him, who knows, they probably will release him, or I don't see him keeping him now because you have Ruiz on the team. So the 28-year-old Warford cost $12.875 million against the Saints salary cap in 2020 after regressing a season ago. And a trade of former Pro Bowl lineman is possible if the Saints could find a suitor willing to take a portion of his salary. Releasing Warford will cause a $5 million dead cap hit, but also could create $7 million in cap space to work with. So if the Saints can't find somebody to take his money, then releasing him, which they don't give a rat's about dead money, which will slide on the cap, and then it open up that over $7 million, which will go to the team, and we can bring in another veteran too. Another player that we talking about Warford, but in the back of my mind, I was thinking about Nick Easton too. Nick Easton is another guy that could be in trouble here. The Saints, remember what they did. They signed Pete back. They signed Tom back. And Tom is a really cheap contract. And they still have several really interesting undrafted guys that's on a roster that's a lot cheaper than Eason. That's a lot more versatile Eason. For big shout out to my Patreon champions, we did TSC Q&A, which is another show we do every Tuesday of the week, where that's just strictly from Patreon, where we did TSC Q&A and we break down. The last show we did, we pretty much broke down the entire 13 undrafted players that the Saints signed, along with video and a brief down of each player and some of the offensive linemen the Saints picked up. A lot of accolades with a lot of those guys. And a portion of it with those linemen were, you talking guys that could play 3 or 4 positions on the offensive line. So Nick Eason is the next dude up to talk about. And why Nick Eason, man? Why Nick Eason? And it's very, and be honest with you, Nick Eason to me has been making it for some time now, and it's time for him. Perhaps the Saints need to look at moving ahead past him, because he carries a pretty big hit of his own, and that's a problem. So let me see here. We give me just a second here, family. Let me break this down here. He played well in limited action with Andrews Pete in 2019 when Pete was hurt, but he was also inactive for several games and carries a high cap number in 2020. His original deal signed last year is for 4 years, $22.5 million. He counts for just 5.4 against the team's salary. Now, you cutting up about 7.5 from Larry Warford, saying that we need to upgrade, but his backup is $5 million a year. So why would I not think that if you getting rid of a Pro Bowl offensive lineman and Larry Warford, because you drafted Ruiz, who plays at center, and you're gonna move McCoy where Warford is, why would I not think that the expensive backup Nick Eason, who the Saints kind of did a knee-jerk reaction after Max Unger retired a season ago, why would I not think they'll get rid of Nick Eason as well? He was always kind of on the bubbles. So if you get rid of Warford, why not get rid of Easton as well? You know, that's just a question. Now, he carries $5.4 million against the team cap. If the Saints release Easton before June 1, they'll create just under $4 million in cap space with a $1.5 million dead cap hit. Now, they could designate Easton for a post-June 1st release and spread the dead cap to $500,000 this season and $1 million in 2021, while creating $4.8 million in cap space. That's too attractive for them not to do that. It is more attractive for them to release Nick Easton than it is for Larry Warford. So I'm anticipating June 1st one cut. I agree with Bob Rose on that they'll definitely get from up under Easton bait with all these different people, and of course they can sign somebody a lot cheaper than that $5 million they're gonna get. And it's also on this list is Patrick Robinson, the cornerback. Patrick Robinson's on this list. He said the Saints have already restructured Robinson's deal once this season. He's entering the third year of a 4-year deal worth $20 million. Now, Robinson was a big liability in the secondary last year. He counts $3.45 million against the cap. Releasing him prior to June 1 would save the team. Wouldn't save the team much, but cause a $2.5 million in dead cap space this season. A post-June 1st release of Robinson would spread the money evenly over the next couple of years while creating $2.2 in salary cap space. Look at the cornerback room where Patrick Robinson is. A lot of people's not too crazy about Patrick Robinson. A lot of people were disappointed. He played well in a few games last year, just to give it to him, but his number was too high for a dime back. And then you have a lot of competition in the cornerback room, and then they have undrafted guys here. The Saints might add a veteran. There's Logan Ryan out there. There's a few interesting people out there as well that can find their way in here. So if the Saints are looking to free up money to probably make another splash move, who knows? Patrick Robinson is definitely a person to keep an eye out on as well. And then finally on his list is Mario Edwards Jr. Now this Bob Rose knows his football, because Mario Edwards Jr. is a guy who I believe when he first came on the team, he was hurt through camp and then ultimately into the season. And the Saints held on to him because of his effort. But Taylor Stalwart, Shy Tuttle, and then you have Malcolm Roach coming on his team. It's going to get really difficult for Mario Edwards Jr. The Saints are deep with interior linemen, and it's going to pose issues for him to stay on the team. So this is very interesting. Now, the team is high on his potential, but Carl Granderson and Noah Spence, they're cheaper. Then you can use Bond as a situational pass rusher if need be. He's 26 years old. Mario Edwards Jr. is 26. He's entering the last year of his contract and will cost $3.24 million of space in 2020. Releasing him will create just over $2 million in space while creating just $895 in dead cap money. So right between that, if we kind of just summarize and bring up the total of all these guys, we talking $2 million. Let's say $2 million that you free up. $2 million you free up if you release Myra Edwards Jr. You talking an additional 2, that's 4 if you release Patrick Robinson. You talking creating a $5 million if you release Eason, that's 9, and then an additional, what is it, 5? No, a 7. So you getting your money back if you release those players. And a lot of the stuff that's going on is the fact that those people are part of the areas of the team that are very deep. So we'll see how it goes, man. We'll keep an eye on it as well. And before I get into some more analogies and breaking down the rest of the stuff, I want to play a little bit more of the Jameis Winston interview for some of the family members.
You mentioned the quarterback room. Have you had any prior relationships with Drew? I mean, what's that relationship like?
Yeah, it's only a few people in this league that actually follow up with you when you ask them a question, when you reach out to them. I met Drew. The first time I met Drew was in 2006. You know, I was the first kid to get his autograph. But I met Drew pre-draft back in San Diego. I think that's his home base. And we got a chance to talk with actually at the Rock Church with Miles McPherson in San Diego. And ever since then, he's always been a guy that I can hit up during the season and ask a question, and he'll get back with me. So I just love the person that he is and the guy that he is, and I'm so excited to learn from him and help serve him in any way.
Hey, Jameis, this is Nick from New Orleans Stop Football. What do you feel like you need to get done so next year when you're back on the market, you're competing for that starting job? Obviously, you didn't come here for the money. You came here to accomplish something. What is that something?
Yeah, what I need to get done is I need to be a great teammate. I need to serve our team, and I need to be competing every day. One thing that I do take pride in is being competitive, and I'm gonna do my best to be the best football player I can be. This sport, even though you know I'm coming to New Orleans, I still love this game of football, right? And we're gonna play a lot of football in New Orleans, and we're gonna win a lot of games.
Are there any specific aspects of your game though, like, hey, I need to do this better or this better? You know, are there certain things that you're coming here specifically that you want to work on?
Yeah, it's every year I have a different set of goals and set of things that I want to get better at. But one thing that I'm really excited to learn, the most exciting thing is just the way that this quarterback room functions. West Coach Payton's approach to every week. You know, West Drew's approach to his week. You know, what is Taysom doing in the room that I can add to my game? You know, just trying to find different things by serving this team and learning from everybody I can, even from Doug in the media. They're just trying to learn as much as I can and to be the best I can be.
Jameis, did you have other offers from teams, and did you have options for more money and possibly even to compete for a starting job?
Well, you know, yes, I did, but I'm a New Orleans Saint. You know, and that's what my focus is. You know, I think this was definitely one of the best opportunities for me to grow as a quarterback and as a professional in this league. So I'm gonna do my best to take full advantage of this opportunity that was presented to me.
Jameis, have you ever had a situation before where maybe you were the student? You've kind of been the guy for a long time, haven't you? When was the last time you walked into a situation where you clearly knew you were sort of learning from someone else?
Every day, like I'm learning from someone else. Like this is going to be relatively new. The only thing that's going to be new is that I'm not the guy, but to myself, I'm still the guy, and I'm gonna approach every day like I'm the guy, and I think that's what that quarterback room breeds of. Like when you see what happened last year with the amount of play time that Taysom and Teddy got. I'm not saying that I'm going to expect that this year, but those guys were prepared, and that's where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be prepared for whatever. I'm I love being a quarterback. You have to be a student of the game. So now I actually get a chance to dive into that more, and I actually have a Hall of Fame quarterback that I'm learning from, opposed to trying to learn by myself or use Google.
Jameis, how much did Teddy Bridgewater's experience here in New Orleans over 2 years have to do with your decision? And did you talk to Teddy?
Yeah, I talked to Teddy, and I'm really just talking to him because I'm so happy for the opportunity he has in Carolina and the chance we get to compete against him twice a year. But I talked to him, and he really loved the quarterback room. I think that was one of the big things, just how they were in that quarterback room, and the things that he was able to learn and apply to his game to make him a better leader and a better quarterback.
Interesting. He talked to Teddy Bridgewater during the process and thinking about doing that. I remember Teddy Bridgewater's from the state of Florida. I think he's from the Miami area. Jameis is from down there as well. So those guys communicating, man, go to New Orleans. They'll get you right. They got me paid, man, learning the system. I got my $60 million, and that's something interesting to Jameis Winston. Now, if you listen to him, sound like he kind of understanding that he's not the guy. He said it out of his mouth. I'm not the man. I got to sit behind the man. But in my head, I'll still be the man. You be the man, watch the man. Take what he is and improve yourself. Now, we big on scouting reports. So allow me to read to you guys the scouting report of Jameis Winston when he first came out of school back in 2015. And this is basically a scouting report. It's a report card of the player from the collegiate, the professional start to up to this point, 5 years in the league. Let's see what the scouting report said. This is the strengths and analysis broke down by the scouting report. It says, considered by scouting community to be advanced in ability to scan field, get through progressions, his natural feel for throwing windows, and anticipates openings that other college quarterbacks don't see. His height to see over offensive line and thickness of build to withstand NFL hits. Big arm by NFL standards. Get full extension, follow through until throws with, the ability to drive the ball into the front of safeties. Can make all of the off the field side throws. Let's see what a field side throws teams need. Most teammates very trusting and protecting of him, according to regional scouts, aware in pocket but not overly jittery. Good feel for edge pressure. Steps up into the pocket while continuing his scan. When pressure mounts, so does his focus. Shows faith in his wide receivers and willing to go right back to them after a drop. Strong lower body, able to shake free of some would-be sacks, get rid of the ball. Fierce competitor, unafraid of mistakes. Shows above average football character. That's wanting. Will make throws and take chances others won't make, as evidenced by 30 interceptions, which can be a special trait if properly harnessed. Now, this is his weaknesses. Decision making not consistent with his football intelligence. Will throw into impossible windows rather than taking safe throws underneath. Elongated wind up and release allows instinctive defenders to close on throws. Was too easily baited into dangerous throws. Struggle with intermediate passing game. Completed 57% of passes with FBS leading 11 interceptions in that range. Still learning nuances of position, how to move, hold defenders with his eyes. Would sleepwalk through first half of many games. Inconsistent footwork. Weight transfer cause balls to slip or sail. Prone to emotional outbursts on the field. Quality of decision making drops off substantially when pocket becomes turbulent. He's forced to leave it. Lacks athleticism to extend plays for very long outside of the pocket. Off the field character and ability to lead on NFL level are his primary obstacles, according to NFL evaluators. Now, the bottom line is saying he's a big, highly competitive pocket passer who played in a pro-style offense and showed the ability to anticipate throwing windows, scans the field, and make NFL throws. His wind-up and delivery and marginal ability outside of the pocket are reminiscent of Byron Leftwich, but his arm talent, issues, and decision-making are more in line with Eli Manning's. Winston's football potential is clearer than so-called system or one-read quarterbacks, but every stone must be overturned in an attempt to together a predictive character profile on Winston. Winston's supreme competence might be considered arrogance by some, but even that trait will be alluring to teams who need to find a franchise quarterback. Now, going back to some of the things they're saying is that the off-the-field character and ability to lead on NFL level are his primary obstacles. None of the other intangibles matter, according to this scouting report. And this is from NFLnetwork.com, where you can pull up their scouting reports if you want to. Now, we had an opportunity to go over and watch. I watched all kind of film on Jameis Winston. He has all of the tools. But somewhat like we read the report card, a lot of that carries on today. Now, he's a lot mature than he was when he first came in the league. He had some incidents, the Uber driver and all that. The stuff that happened with the Saints kind of made me not want him around here. But potentially, and I have faith in the process for him to become better because of the locker room and specifically Drew Brees. If Drew Brees is there, he can help this man turn into a pretty good quarterback. Now, for people who don't like it, listen, it's just a 1-year deal. That's all it is. It's a 1-year deal to take a chance on this guy. Taysom is a 2-year deal. This guy has a 1-year deal. And really, we could be looking at we will be looking at a whole nother quarterback situation next year. You know, like we had a strong room the year before, we have a strong room now. This is a very strong QB room for the Saints, not to mention the young quarterback. I'm not going to talk about the 7th-round draft pick quarterback. That makes no difference here as far as these accomplished people are concerned. But the point is, we'll be looking at another resetting of the QB position next year. But Jameis Winston does provide a very interesting component to the Saints offense. If the Saints can take Teddy Bridgewater, who's not as talented as a Jameis Winston, and turn him and elevate his praise to the point where people come and get him to play and start, then they can do really good work for Jameis Winston. So all he has to do is be quiet and pay attention, listen to Drew, and do what Drew tell him to do. That's why the thumbnail that the family members put together in this one is entitled "What It Is," which is pretty much telling you, Big Brother Drew helps them all, which is pretty much what it is. Drew Brees helped Taysom. He'll help Jameis Winston. He helped Teddy Bridgewater. That's what he does. He's not a Brett Favre, like what Brett Favre did. Aaron Rodgers said Brett Favre ain't do shit for him. He ain't teach him nothing. 3 years under Brett Favre, you'd think he helped him. Brett ain't do nothing for him. So Drew Brees is the anti-Brett Favre in that case. And I've heard Brett Favre's kind of a prick anyway. But Drew Brees is not. Drew Brees is a good dude. And because of him in the locker room, I do like the move for Jameis Winston. A 1-year, very cheap contract, a prove-it year, just like what they had the first time when they traded a 3rd-round pick to get Teddy Bridgewater down here. Then ultimately had him to flip another year on a 1-year contract, a lot cheaper than that. This could work out. Now, after this year, we'll see. Now, big ups to the family members in the building. Good to see the family members chiming in the live stream. Please hit the chat. Over 60 people in the chat tonight. Thank y'all for dealing with some of the issues we having with the internet, but we're going to keep rolling with it anyway. Just under 50 minutes and the rest of the family members, let me address some of the questions in the chat. Much love to y'all. Urban Alexander, I see your family. Big ups to you. Troy Thompson, all the family members chiming in. Donovan, I see you, Donovan. Van Ward, I see you, Van. Big ups to you as well, family. Dominic says BS. He don't believe. He not buying it. Sat Scott, who that to you? I see your family. Metalhead, I see your family. Sub-Zero, big ups to you. Jermaine, I see your fam. Chad Prue, much love to you. I see your fam. All the beautiful black and gold chiming in. And let's see who else we got here. Travis says, I believe Winston will be splitting time with Hill in the next couple of years to come. We'll see about that. Sub-Zero says, Jameis' problem is the same one we all have, that play Madden. Nobody wants to take the check downs consistently. I'm Tampa Bay. He was playing Madden out there. Now he will be playing a true NFL system. DLP, I see your family. Good to see you in the chat as well. Derek says he said Drew was helping him even when he was with Tampa Bay. Yeah, he had his number. Who that to you? Shedrick, I see your family. Much love to you. Javier, I see you, Javier. Who that to you? Says listen to his interview. Not sure. Hopefully it goes good for us. It's the truth be told, Black and Gold Nation, listen. Sports Coma family members, listen. This is a deal that's not going to cost you anything. It's a cheap contract for 1 year. Jameis is the backup. He'll just be basically going to school with Drew at the top. Now, if injury occurs, God forbid, who do you put in there? In my opinion, if you are Sean Payton, you have to put Taysom Hill in there. You cannot then take Teddy Bridgewater and put him ahead of Taysom. If you put Jameis Winston in ahead of Taysom, if something happened to Drew, that raises alarming questions. Taysom Hill should go in because he knows more of the offense than a Jameis Winston, even though Jameis Winston's a more natural quarterback than Taysom Hill. So it gets kind of convoluted to a bit, but Taysom should be looked at as I guess you could say second string quarterback, even though he'll be a third string quarterback because he'll be playing other positions, not quarterback. But if something happened to Drew, I think that he'll take the head. Who that to you, metalhead, as well. Big ups to your family. I see you. Answering some of the questions from the family in the live chat. Irvin says Traquan had his chance. He said had his chance. He Nick Toon 2.0. Yeah, that was a disappointment. I remember Nick Toon, son of L Toon, famous wide receiver from New York. But damn, Nick Toon was here when they had Brandon Coleman. A lot of people don't remember Nick Toon. I mean, it's hard to kind of kick against that, bro, because this is the prove it year, and it doesn't look good for Traquan. We've talked about Traquan Smith, and I keep saying the same thing. Taysom's $20 million contract doesn't bode well for any wide receiver not named Emmanuel Sanders, not named Mike Thomas. Anybody not named any of those guys, forget about it. That's why the Saints ain't take a top-notch or top 2, 3, or whatever wide receiver in the draft. They knew all along that Taysom Hill is really the third wide receiver, and Traquan Smith is a reserve. So I don't, unless things change, and I don't see how he's going to prove himself. I really don't, unless he takes on a special team layer or something. Deontay Harris is there. So I don't know how he makes a name for himself with Taysom Hill with the money and getting all the reps. So it's just a tough position for Traquan Smith to be in. He had the tutelage of Mike Thomas. He was working hand in hand with Mike Thomas last year, and his game did go up some, but not enough. He needs to really explode and show his potential. When he gets an opportunity on the field, he needs to make catches. He needs to play with his hair on fire. He needs to really, really step up, and any opportunity he gets, he has to take full advantage of it. I mean, seriously, and even if they put him in a slot, he's not comfortable with playing a slot. Wherever you go, you got to make it work, because like I said, right now, Taysom is really the third wide receiver, and he goes out there, like the third wide receiver. He is impactful. He's tough to bring down. Guys fall off him. He runs around. He's smiling. He lowers his shoulder. He run over your ass. I mean, the guy is terrific. I absolutely love Taysom Hill. I love what he brings to the team. And Traquan Smith's in a difficult place. So I don't see how he comes out there unless he really steps his game up and do something big. James Van Court, good to see your family. Who that to you? Was good for you? He said, dog. He says, Big Q, dog. I hope Jameis didn't come down here just because he know we the best at cooking seafood. Might rob someone for crab leg. Yeah, that crab legs thing, that never gets old with me. Tremal says, I don't feel good with PJ in the secondary. Yep. You never know, fam. We got a lot of stuff going on in the secondary, a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure they're going to add some more. Gerard is with me on that. He's saying the Saints got a steal in Jameis Winston. Got him for cheap. So a lot of the people who don't like Jameis Winston because of his stuff that he did to the Saints prior to, I get you. But remember, this is the Saints. And as a Saint, you have to practice forgiveness. He's not a Tampa Bay Buccaneer guy anymore. He is now a Saint. And as a Saint, you have to forgive him and let him prove himself on the team. I understand if he's on a rival team, whatnot, but he's a Saint now. You got to give him an opportunity. And besides, if you don't believe in him, believe in Drew Brees and his development and his mindset and what he brings. That guy's going to suck that up just like Teddy Bridgewater did. And it'll make him a better man. It'll make him a better player. First and foremost, he got to become a better person and more responsible. And I think Drew can help him with that. The process of becoming a professional quarterback and a proper way of commanding the locker room. Drew Brees has all that. That'll be at the full display of Jameis Winston. So it's a major bonus to have Jameis in the middle of his career and tutored by Drew. This is a 1-year prove-it deal to see where it goes. And if it if it happens to work out for you, you got an interesting dilemma next year. I'm just keeping it real. I would love to see it. I mean, bring it on. More competition makes everybody better anyway, don't it? All right, let's see what else we got here. DLP says he's still very young. It's a low-risk deal. I like the idea in the locker room. The guy deserves a chance. He sounds like a whole different guy than when he came into the league. He does sound different, don't he, DLP? And that's doing part, I think, because early on, I was reading reports from Jameis Winston, and the coaching staff wasn't saying, they said they still believed in him, and they was considering keeping him there by bringing Tom Brady, and he would merely sit behind Tom Brady. But then ultimately they made the decision just to cut bait and run from him. So he stays in the NFC South against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and anybody else. So what's interesting is people not looking at this aspect of it, that he knows their system. So imagine what little giblets of information that he'll be sharing with the Saints. Now, of course, they're going to be bringing in a different system to a degree with Tom Brady, but he still can give you some inside baseball on the nuances of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense ran by Bruce Arians. He ran his offense. So that information the Saints could use as well to kind of teeter them just a bit, because they won't go full do offense. They'll still use some components of the old offense mixed with some of the stuff that Brady's used to doing. But at the end of the day, that's a real good take to think about too. All right, thank you for that, DLP. Irvin Alexander says if Drew goes down early, it's Taysom, but if Drew goes down late, it's Jameis. Sub-Zero says I'm one of the few that still want to call Dez Bryant. I don't want Dez Bryant, bro. I'm keep it real with you. Irvin says I like Harris at wide receiver, at third wide receiver. I got you. I do like Harris too. I think that guy is somebody we need to keep an eye out on. Derek L says I agree, but they paid Taysom all that money, so he need to get out there. If something happens to Drew, no doubt about it. If you put Jameis Winston in there ahead of Drew Brees, that sends a terrible message. It really does, a whole terrible message. Taysom knows that offense better than Jameis Winston does. But if Jameis gets out there past Taysom, there's nothing you could tell me about them thinking he's the franchise. But I still say Taysom gets out there before him because he knows the offense. You know, that's just what we're doing. Let's keep it moving here. Thank you for that, Derek. Metalhead says, let Taysom play running back and pass from the sweep down the field. Yep. Gerard says, don't be disappointed if Drew got hurt and Taysom flops hard. I don't think Drew's going to get hurt. I think the Saints are doing their due diligence. They understand that they needed more oomph in the interior offensive line. Cesar Ruiz, if anybody's seen any film or tape on Cesar Ruiz, you need to go look at some. And I keep saying this, mean offensive lineman, mean ass offensive lineman, plays with attitude problem, not a bad attitude problem. It's like, how dare you try to sack my quarterback problem. Idea, you know his mentality. Very mean, very physical, very disciplined. He'll get better when our offensive line coaches help him develop. But this guy is a special talent. I mean, really good. This guy could end up being one of the best centers the Saints ever had. That's how good Cesar Ruiz could be. His ceiling is, his technique and whatnot. He's terrific. You move McCoy to right guard. McCoy is a fantastic guard. He did well at center. He's playing guard. He'll be fantastic there. So you got two big mean guys left or right. A lot of people not too curious about Andrews Pete, but still I like Pete at the left guard too. You still have that aggression in the interior of the line. You got to think to a degree that doing that and putting that center there not only is a protection aspect to Drew Brees, but the Saints have to be capitulating, running the ball, adding that layer to it. You got to give him the running game as well in his final year. 504 Easy, who that? He says not going to work. Damone says I wish we could got a top cornerback in the draft. What up, Trail? Trail Hatch says Saints should definitely consider rethink on Antonio Brown. He's definitely been a different guy since getting his family back in order, because he lands in Tampa, the South, in trouble. Heard various reports about him looking at Baltimore. I don't think there's a place for Antonio Brown in New Orleans, but anything could happen. We'll take an eye out. Irvin says hit the like button. People, thank you, family. Please feel free to hit the like button. Metalhead says he can go to Barely Legal on bourbon and get all the crab legs he wants. Travis Daisy, who that? He says, do number 10 even get enough targets? Think he so just need more targets? That's the thing. You know, he doesn't see the field a lot. And if he sees the field a lot, he has to be able to take advantage of the time when he get on the field. We're talking about Traquan Smith now. He has to be able to, when he get on the field, he got to make every catch, difficult or not. He has to do it. He can't drop passes because that's what he's been doing. He can't drop passes because Peyton puts him out there. But you got to gain the trust of the quarterback. You got to get open. And you have to be, I just don't understand how you're surrounded by greatness, but you so mediocre. You're looking at Mike Thomas and his regiment, how he trains, how he runs routes. Traquan Smith has got to benefit from being there. And Mike Thomas it works with those guys too. They train together. He gets in there early. You got to take advantage of that. You have greatness. For an example, Mike Thomas's preparation and his mindset into the game. You got to use that, Traquan Smith. Also, you got Drew Brees as your quarterback. Go talk to him on what I need to do to get open for you to notice me, what I need to do, this, that, and the third. And then Mike Chum. I mean, you got greatness surrounding you. You need to take advantage of that. And when you get an opportunity to get on the field, you got to make plays. You can't let yourself get beat out by a backup quarterback playing wide receiver. That's really, to me, really embarrassing for Traquan Smith. I mean, that's the point. He has to be able to make every catch and grab and step up, or he's going to just fade right up out of this damn offense. I'm going to keep it real with you. The dude has talent, but he got to catch the goddamn ball. Thank you for that, fam. Okay, let's keep it moving. Sub-Zero says, as far as Taysom's new contract, combine that pay, that dollars you pay, your third, fourth running back, fullback, second kick returner, and rusher and gunner, and I'm willing to bet that it costs you more than $8 million a year. Fair deal. Thank you, Sub-Zero. Derek says, I won't be disappointed. I just feel like they paid him. Everyone want him out there, so they see what they got. Simple. Christian Worth, and good to see you. I'm a Bucks fan, and New Orleans is going to love Jameis. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate you. Welcome to the Great Saints Think Tank, the Sports Coma. Much love to you. We have a lot of Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans that tune into the show, and even though you're Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans, you're more than welcome to the Saints Forum as long as we keep it respectful. We got all kind of people from other shows that subscribe to this show, meaning, that's Tampa Bay fans, Carolina fans, Atlanta fans, Raider fans, Titans fans. We get them all come through here, and they pretty respectful. Those who are not, my heavy-handed moderators put them in check. So much love to you. Thank you. Welcome to the farm. Ramsey says, Q, what do you think about the undrafted wide receiver we picked up from Tennessee? I like him. I like his attitude. He's tall. He's not as fast as I like, but what I really like about him is the fact that he makes really difficult contested passes. Like if you look at his film, the guy contorts and makes turns in midair to bring the ball and comes crashing down to the ground with the cornerback all on him, and he has the ball. That's the great thing I like about him. He is a guy, he can run the deep routes, but he's really physical at the line, and he makes the tough catches. We covered that on the TSC Q&A show that we do every Tuesday on Patreon. Is locked content for our Patreon champions, people that subscribe at the Patreon level. We do a show a week called TSC Live Q&A, which we go over that. We did a whole video breakdown of all the undrafted people, all 13 of them. We broke it down and went over that, and that kid is really something special. And we have a lot of the 13 undrafted guys we brought on didn't know a lot about them, but when I did my research and we played the videos to show you the film on them as well, we have a really solid crop of undrafted free agents. The offensive linemen the Saints have, not one of those guys play one position. They have a guy that play 4 positions like Andrews Pete. They got one guy play 3. I mean, those guys, the offensive linemen, are super versatile in this undrafted class. The running back out of Notre Dame played his stuff. People think he's just a bowling ball. He has speed as well. Not a full guy, of course, but he has good field speed. He runs hard, catches the ball, everything. I really like the running back that Saints got undrafted, and the wide receivers are terrific. And the cornerbacks are big. Both of the cornerbacks they brought in are over 6 feet. So the wide receiver out of Tennessee, I like him a lot. Hopefully he can stick and stay with the team. Thank you for the question, family. Let's see. Let's keep it moving here. Sascott says if Drew gets hurt, he will be ready. Vic 2.0. Metalhead says let Murray run the ball up the gut and punish the defense. Travis says, can we please get Cam Jordan some help? Please, he can't do it by himself. The Saints did bring in some help with Zach Bond, and I think that's a part of the process, because if you look at what Bond could do, the Saints play that modified nickel a lot. Their base package is the 43 defense, but when they go into that modified nickel, and they have the most athletic linebackers, if healthy, usually is Alex Anzalone and Demario Davis on the field at the same time. Let's say that they do that. Alex Anzalone is completely healthy. Let's say that he is there with Demario Davis. Well, Zach Bond can then be moved to the situational pass rusher position. That is the current situational pass rusher is Trey Hendrickson. But finally, Coach Payton and the rest of the staff is realizing, like we've been saying, that the situational pass rushing situation is a problem. Zach Bond accomplishes that because you can then cycle him in on those third down so he can get up under. And if you don't know about Zach Bond, watch how when he's lined up as a pass rusher, the first step is absolutely amazing. He's 6'2", 6'3"-ish, but he gets under those big offensive linemen and he beats them, gets right up under them. And once he beats them, you can't, if you're a quarterback, you won't get away from him. And that's the thing I really like about Zach Bond, because not only does he bring that athleticism to the defense and that smart and that aggression, but he also is a situational pass rusher who can get to the quarterback, for those who don't know. Thank you for that question, that family. Slick Rick says Tre'Quan Smith, not that explosive to me. Now, he don't look that way. If you go back to the Washington Redskins game a couple years ago, bro, and who that to you, Slick Rick? You go back to that fought the Redskins game. You watch that. Watch what he was doing in that game, running those deep routes, catching the ball. That gave you a brief insight of how great that guy could be. The issue with him is when he's not getting the reps on the field, and when he gets on the field, he's not standing out. You have to be able to beat the one-on-one matchups with your cornerback at the line of scrimmage. You have to run the right routes, and when the ball's thrown to you, you got to catch the goddamn ball. You know, that's how you earn respect from the quarterback. That's how you earn play time with the coaches and so on and so forth. You know, that's how it goes. Thank you for the question. DLP says Ruiz is mean and plays lights out. He's an excellent player. Center is no flashy position, so many don't like it, but the guy just made the offensive line even better. I agree with you. Jermaine said, I think the undrafted wide receiver the Saints picked up will make a big impact. The Tennessee guy will make an impact. Then there's the other guy from Oregon, the 6'4" guy, 230 pounds. He is not a speedster. He's more of a big zone, a big red zone target. But remember, Sean Payton loved big wide receivers who are physical, and he kind of fits the mold. Well, you know, a guy like Emmanuel Butler and LaJordan Humphreys, these big physical wide receivers. But what I like about him is that he's a guy that you can put in the red zone. He gonna make the catch. He ain't gonna run past you. He got a little wiggle with him, but he's gonna make the catch. And while I'm on it with LaJordan Humphrey, the thing I really like about LaJordan Humphrey, why I think he might have an edge over the rest of them, is the fact that he was super productive in Tennessee, and the fact that his skill is not so much speed, but the fact that he is a great yard after catch wide receiver. If you watch him with the Saints in the preseason and what he did at college at Texas, LaJordan Humphreys has the ability to make the catch, then make you miss, and then get yards after the catch. That is something that the Saints really need. Like, if you're a big wide receiver and you ain't gonna run away from nobody, getting yak yards is really something that you're supposed to do really well. And LaJordan Humphreys, absolutely, he's terrific at that. Okay, let's keep it going, fam. Irvin says, do you think the no mini camp or all season workouts will affect us because we always come out the gate slow? Almost lost to Houston, and we lost the backup QB in Tampa Bay the year before. It's definitely going to be a portion of an issue with that, Irvin. No doubt about it, because no matter you bringing the same nucleus of the team back, you still have to, kind of include new pieces or new personnel in and get everybody accustomed to playing with each other. Then it's the training aspect of it. But truth be told, as I put on my political hat and go and put on my big Q and on Q hat, for those who listen to the show, I'm anticipating that you will have pro football, you will have basketball, you're going to have baseball. But what's going to go on is that they're going to let you have this stuff, but you won't be able to participate and at the games. And if you do go, it'll only be a certain amount of people can go. And I've said this, and I'm gonna say it again. I don't have a crystal ball, but I know what's going on. The reality is that they're gonna try to keep stuff shut down. They ain't do all this stuff for nothing, just to shut society down a bit to make it open back up again. But you'll start seeing a lot of stuff that look crazy to you in a country where you believe in a set of laws called the Constitution. Now, people got to remember that when an emergency is declared, like the whole country is under a state of emergency, that your Constitution is suspended. People don't realize that. That's why there are curfews they're imposed. You can't move around like you want to, but it's more of a soft kind of deal going on. But just not get too deep in. If you want to know about any like that, go join the Patreon. Look in the link below. I cover all this stuff on Q with Big Q. People that listen to it, they know what I'm talking about. But they eventually will open up sports for people to watch again. It's just not going to be, you're not going to be able to participate as far as going down to the arena until they're not talking about giving medicine or a vaccine until possibly next year. They're waiting on that. So this is coming straight from the people that's supposed to be making the stuff. And bear in mind, I'm not a guy that like that stuff. I'm a natural, holistic, organic approach guy. They got zinc and all kind of other stuff you can use. Why you keep trying to push that stuff? Well, we ain't going to get to it. But I just put it to you like this. You should have football coming soon. And most of these guys will be isolated in the system. The NFL been working on it. So they got a plan. They're working with the authorities and how they're going to do it. And you're going to have football. Let's just put it to you like that, family. I'm going to leave it at that. Gerard says, I like Joe Bachie. I like him too. Joey Bachie, the linebacker from Michigan State, the inside linebacker, very productive. He's not fast. He's intelligent. He's not as gifted as most of the linebackers that's coming out. But what he does is he has a nose for the football, and he's a football player. And I think a lot of people looking past him. But Bachie, you talking about, Q, we need linebacker help. That Bachie guy from Michigan State, look out for him. He will be a tremendous asset to the Saints. The Saints got Bachie there. I love that move. You're going to love that kid. Go look up his highlights. Joe Bachie is going to be something special. Callaway is the same. Thank you. And Kelvin Throckmorton, all kind of awards in his conference. And several of the Saints undrafted offensive linemen were like awards, winning awards in their conference for their production. They just slipped through the cracks. Very solid group of people this year. Thank you for that, Gerard. He says both undrafted cornerbacks I hope can make a practice squad. We'll see. Irvin says, who's the backup if Ram goes down and his season and is the season over if he did? No, I don't think so. Ramczyk, hopefully he doesn't have any issue with that, but behind him is a guy named Ethan Greenwich is there as well but I'm anticipating the Saints to kind of bring in a veteran offensive lineman like they did before the last several seasons. During that process of time before the camp fires up, they always bring in a signed veteran offensive lineman to work with the younger guys, and maybe a veteran or two under a cheap deal always seems to get into and onto the Saints team. Remember, you had the guy from the Giants who spent his last couple of years here, as well as a backup playing tackle and guard. So expect that kind of thing to happen as well. Sean Payton really leans on that sort of thing. Smart thing to do too. Okay, let's keep it going, fam. Slick says, yeah, he was good. The game, we need consistent. Travis says, what about the receiver that was killing it in training camp last year but didn't make the game day roster? You talking about Emmanuel Butler? Or which one? I think you're talking about Emmanuel Butler. Butler's interesting because everybody had Butler penciled in as the guy, but then when he get into the game, the actual game, it didn't translate. And then all of a sudden you're seeing LaJardan Humphrey got in there before, and everybody got ahead of him. Even Austin Carr made the roster, and he never made the active roster. He sat on the practice squad the whole year, and he's a big receiver. He was productive over at, I think he came out of what is it? Northern Arizona. That's where he come from. I won't say Northern Arizona. Y'all correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. I won't say Northern. No, it wasn't Northern Arizona. It was somewhere else. Northern whatever. Y'all correct me in the chat. I can't keep all this stuff in my head. But he was actually pretty decent there. Very productive. but he has to step his game up. Big receiver, has not a super fast guy, but I like his size and physicality. But he has to kind of beat out a lot of really good wide receivers. I think there might be a little step. I think LaJordan Humphrey is a lot more developed than he is. But, you know, I just think he's better than him at this stage. The yak yard aspect is big, and I'm expecting big things from LaJordan Humphreys. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Okay, Michael Russell says Drew Brees, the GOAT, God of the QB. I agree with you. Thank you, Michael Russell. Who that to your family? Thank you. Gerard says Krishan Hogan, Maurice Harris have the inside track at number 4. I don't think Krishan Hogan holding nothing, man. Hogan got on the team last year, caught one pass, got hurt just like Austin Carr. I don't have any confidence in Krishan Hogan. I don't see what they see in him. I see what he did in college, but I don't know. That's still a lot of talent. I'm with you on Maurice Harris. He's fast. He's a veteran, and he can catch him. He's just a little short guy, but I like Harris though. DLP says Butler. I like him a lot. He has a chance to make something happen this trailing training camp. Hope he can prove his worth and make the roster. Thank you, fam. Derek says 3 spots wide open. It's going to be a dogfight. Traquan has that spot by default. I don't be surprised by that, Derek. I don't know. Traquan Smith, man, this could be a telling year for him. Really could. Gerard says Joe Becci, Andre Dowell. Well, watch Dowell. Watch Dowell too. Chase Hansen's another one. Caden Ellis. These backups, man. A lot of Saints looking at linebackers. Caden Ellis' speed and what he did in preseason. Joe Bashy's going to be something special. Dowell, I watched footage on him too. Hansen is interesting. So they have young talent there that's going to bring up. Hopefully we can keep some of these guys. Derek says we straight at linebacker now. In my opinion, Ramsey says we are in talks with Everson. Are we in talks with Everson Griffin? Not to my knowledge right now. We are not in talks with Everson Griffin. The Saints have not been in talks with Everson Griffin. There is no link between the Saints and Griffin. I think a lot of us wanted that to happen, being that Sean Payton always pilfered Vikings players from them. Latavius Murray, Nick Eason, Marcus Sherels, so on and so forth. Zach Line was one of the Vikings guys as well. So I was anticipating that they made the ultimate move and pilfered one of their best pass rushers over the last several years and grab Everson Griffin and plug him next to Cam Jordan. With that, you let me know that that's over the top. The Saints ready for it. You know, they going for the gusto. But we'll see how it shakes out. But I would love to see him get him. I've been advocating for that for some time now. Thank you, Ramsey. 2K Coley says, just checked out Jawan, but he cold. Yeah, big wide receiver, Jawan Johnson. Very big wide receiver, 6'4", 230. Big wide receiver, physical. Will be interesting to see how the Saints can incorporate him. He'll be in the mix with the rest of our big physical wide receivers as well. It's going to be a tough run for the wide receivers. Thank you, 2K Coley. Anderson Baker says, whoa, now who that? Who that to you, Anderson? Good to see you in the chat, family. If you and 2K Coley haven't subscribed, please subscribe, family. Hit the chat up big time. Hit the like button. Also subscribe if you aren't a subscriber. True Louisiana said, I think Jawan Johnson going to win a number 3 spot. Dude was a beast at Oregon. We'll see about that, fam. I do like his tape, though. Gerard says Austin Carr is gone off the roster. Yay. Fine. I know you was an advocate of him leaving, family. He definitely won't come back. Seth Griffin says, I think LaJordan Humphrey could be great. I agree with you, Seth. I think LaJordan Humphrey, like I say, catching the ball, his attitude, if you notice how he played, got a swag about him. And the biggest part of his game to me is his yards after the catch. He is elusive. He'll shake you, get away from you. And then on top of that, he uses a stiff arm and he's difficult to bring down. He doesn't go down easy. And that's what you want your big wide receivers to be able to do. If they're not that fast straight line speed, but they use a stiff arm and a series of moves to kind of free themselves. And that's what I like about LaJordan Humphrey on his tape with the Saints and in college. That's a skill that translated. Big wide receiver that know how to catch the ball, secure it, use a stiff arm, fight for every little yard. That's why I really like him. I won't see more of that from him. Donovan says, Derek, I agree, but already got my eye on Dylan Moses next year in the draft. Who that nation? What up, fam? He says, Bond, Batchy, Ellis. There you go. That's a nice linebacker core there. Very, very fast. Bond fast. Ellis fast. Batchy smart football players. That's what that is. Gerard says Saints should scoop up strong safety Obi Malafuni, Pats cut him yesterday. I don't know if the Saints going any more safeties. They're pretty loaded right now, but there's still a few spots I guess you can add. Who That Nation says if we grab Griffin, we're guaranteed a Super Bowl. I agree. Jared Stevens says Saints had their eye on a strong safety. But I remember that in 2017. I remember that. Slick Ray says Humphrey will be good fit in the slot. I like that. Because he wouldn't, a big receiver, he catches, then fights for those yards. He wouldn't be scared. He'll have that heart. We'll see if they utilize him there, because the slot is a big spot. We need to find out who the slot man gonna be. 9 times out of 10, it might be our dog Taysom Hill there. You never know, running in the slot, but we'll see how it shake ups. Let's say Derek says Gerard, he would be supposed to be a sleeper, but he was showing nothing. Slick Rick said he's a finisher. Nashville Saint, who that? He says late to the party. Who that? It's good to see you, Nashville Saint. Much love to you. Anderson, so do you think Butler will be ready this season? I don't know, fam. That's the thing about it. With that crowded wide receiver room, you have Maurice Harris in there still. I'm not saying Tommy Lee gonna do anything, but he's there. But my sleeper pick in there that I really like, that I've been watching film on, is Maurice Harris, who they picked up late in the season, and he's 2 or 3 years in the league. He kick returns, punt return. He has a speed component, very fast. He can catch the ball. He's a bit undersized, but he's a professional. He's not a college or undrafted guy. This guy is coming. He has some experience on other teams. He just didn't stick and stay. And you got to sometimes watch those guys, because you might get a good one. And I think Maurice Harris is a really good one. If you don't know about him, go look up some stuff on him. And just to address Butler, I don't know. Butler is a curious pick to me. Curious, because last year he was tearing it up in practice. And then when he came into the regular game, he's dropping balls and everything. And I'm like, then the only thing start flashing to me is Brandon Coleman, a practice squad all-star, but he stinks in live game action. You got to be able to do it in live game action, not shoot. He has the tangibles, but he has to have that mentality. And I just think certain people have that confidence edge. And when I watch him play, when you coming in the games, it just don't seem to me he's showing that confidence. You know what I mean? Like, I belong there. You see the swag in guys like LaJordan Humphreys. You see the swag in them guys like that. But sometimes you don't see that confidence in a guy like Traquan Smith. That's what I was saying about Keith Kirkwood. When Kirkwood was here, he was undrafted, but his confidence was like, yeah, I belong here. I can do this. He had a certain comfortability about himself when he was on the field that I respected. But we'll see about Butler, man. Butler has to step up. But it's a crowded room with Jordan Humphrey, and now you add this kid from Oregon in there, and then you add this kid with Tennessee. The Saints swinging for the fences, man. Much love. Let's see who else we got here. Anderson. Okay, thank you for that question, Anderson. Red Hood Saint, who that to you, fam? Good to see you. Derek says, do you remember at the draft when Primetime said he was going to be something special? Who that nation said, I don't understand why Humphrey did not get enough snaps last year. He would make a great slot receiver. Humphrey to me should have got more balls thrown his way. I don't get that part either, family. I agree with you. Tramal says, who's the XFL player the cornerback signed last month? His name is, hold on, give me a second, I'll give it to you, because I forget his name too from time to time. Demetric Nichols. So I didn't even have to look it up. It just dropped right in my head. Demetric Nichols, smallish cornerback, but really he has a nose for the ball. Chip on his shoulder type of guy. And interesting, man. Very interesting. He led the XFL in interceptions last year with 3 of them. But what I like about him, he has a dog mentality. He's an undersized guy, but that don't stop him from going for the ball and hitting and wrapping up people. Very fundamental. It'd be interesting to see where he lands in the line, in the defensive back room. Let's keep it going. Ask a few more questions, family, before I end the stream. Please hit the like button, family. If you haven't already hit the like button, please subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, thank you. As I finish out the chat, Seth says, how would you feel on trading away Ted Ginn Jr.? Ted Ginn is not on the team anymore, Seth. He was a free agent. He's officially not a Saint anymore. But had it been last year, I would have definitely wanted to trade him out of there for 6 or 7 or something, man, because he wasn't doing a goddamn thing. Tramal says Taylor Mays was trash, big, and useless. Yeah, he really, I don't know if it was the system or whatever it was, but boy, You thought he was going to be something out of USC. It really didn't materialize. Truly, said Seth, he's not on the roster no more. Thank you for telling him that. Thank you, Derek and Gerard, for naming him. Dietrich Nichols. Red Hood Saint said, I think Stevens makes the roster as a QB, wide receiver, tight end, and Saint. 4 spots, 1 player. Well, yeah, they mentioned the tight end position. They mentioned the wide receiver position. They mentioned doing the multiple value thing, which I told you guys before from the previous show. A lot of people got the wrong idea when I said, listen, I understand going after a Taysom Hill clone, but if we're going to use going after people clones, let's go after a Drew Brees clone. What better QB clone do you need than a Drew Brees clone? I understand the Taysom stuff, but we have to get a Drew Brees clone. While we looking for clones of the backup quarterback, look for the clone of the quarterback. That's my mentality. A lot of people that kind of went over their head. They're thinking, oh, you don't like Taysom Hill. And another thing, family, please don't be one of those people out there that think just because somebody disagree with you, they hating on you. I'm like, where? This is the kind of world we living in where we can't. This is a think tank. That's why I call it the Great Saints think tank. That means you'll have debates with people, and we don't all come from the same environments. We come from similar environments. We don't come from the same experience. We come from similar experiences, but different people from all over the world, from all over the country, can sit in a platform and talk about the team they love in a respectful and civil manner. And that's what I love about the Great Saints think tank, because when we have discussions, we have an electric discussions, and we talk about things. And I just really love y'all and appreciate y'all for making this such a great platform, for real, because they got a lot of people out there that's tied to what I call Saints groupthink. And what that is they tote the team's line on mentality. Do not challenge the team. It's like watching a bad tyrant movie. It's like watching one of them Nazi Germany films when the dude, his picture everywhere is all over the street. His own posters everywhere. His sayings all over the place. And you do not disagree with the coach. The coach knows all. The owner knows all. Don't disagree with the owner. They know all. The team knows all. They know all. And that's how people think. Like, if you disagree and say this guy could have did it this way, these people say to you, man, no, the coach Pete know what he doing. And then they never criticize the bad things. It's all good. Whatever he do is all good. You can never have that mentality. That's why this freaking country is screwed up what it is today. We allowing people we don't even know to operate in positions, and we don't even keep checking them out. That's how the politicians stealing and inside trading and doing all this evil shit because of us. We supposed to have them under the thumb all of the time. We don't supposed to let them make moves with total autonomy. They calling for you to trust them, and then they spying on your ass 8 ways from Tuesday, stealing all your information and sell it, but promoting you to trust them while they don't trust you. See what I'm saying? Can't let that happen. You got to engage in critical thinking. As a matter of fact, critical thinking is a danger to people that want control, because it's only the people that are complacent, that allow things to just simply flow. Then you're going to have issues. That's why I was bringing up the deception joint in the last show. And people was like, Q, that's just the method that they use. That's straight out of 48 Laws of Power. And I'm pretty sure I've read 48 Laws of Power several times, and I don't like 48 Laws of Power because it read like a playbook from the demons. It justifies, it says, it basically, in summary, it means basically the means, what's the term? The ends justify the means, which means if I got to do A, B, and C, and D is disagreeable to get to this, then it's justified. And that's absolute nonsense. That's absolute bullshit. I don't buy in that. I shoot that down. I step on that. That's garbage. We support real, organic, honorable people like my dog Till and his family with We Dat Wings. Great people, good people. They got a great product and they operate as a family. That's what we talking about. That's how you elevate people that's doing it the right way. Don't go out there and pick somebody out there tearing up people and stealing little grandma's pensions and stuff like that, and then tell them, it's all business, it's not personal, and then we justify that. Shouldn't have practiced deception nowhere. You wouldn't want your damn children doing it. Don't you do it. You lead by example, not just by words. So I'm gonna let that's on my little spill. I'm gonna leave it alone, keep on going. But anyway, Anderson says the defense should be stepping up, getting turnovers this season by putting a fast group of linebackers. I love what the Saints doing with the linebackers. I ain't gonna tell you nothing. Big ups to that. True Louisiana said, hate those ignorant types of people that say you're a hater or hating if you feel differently about something or someone that prays. See, that's what I'm saying. Critical thinking is not something that is promoted in the mandatory government school system. Now, I'm gonna just throw this out here. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's what that thought process does. A thought process does. A mentality, a critical thinking mentality allows you then to mull over those things. Let's say, for instance, just for instance, to the Great Saint Think Tank, let's say, for instance, that we pick a topic or subject in school. Just sad, bad. We pick a topic and subject in school. Let's say it's the slave trade. How did a lot of people learn about the slave trade? From various records. Well, the slavers who slaved the people were the ones that wrote the record for the history of the people. So let's just say that the slavers said that they got you from this area, but and said that you come from there. You get no conflict of interest from them. When they asked the slavers, they said, where did you get from? We got you from there, from this area right there. That's where you come from. That's why you call that. But do anybody for a second actually question and said, can we believe what the slaver said? Can we? What if the slaver is lying to you? What if the slaver who is untrustworthy, underhanded, rotten, would then take people as slaves? Let's say, for instance, the slaver is lying to you and telling you he got you from there, but maybe he didn't get you from there at all. Maybe you were already where you were. Huh? See, I'm not saying that's actually the case, but I'm saying that you have to have the critical thinking to understand that such a thing is possible. Manipulation, deception, these are things that centrifuge. These are things that are practiced on a daily basis. They're corporations that go to war with each other. They're corporate sabotage, but they hire people to go in and sabotage computers. There's corporations that send viruses to their rival to destroy the computers. That's all kind of stuff going on that you are not aware about in this world, because we live in a veneer. We live in a construct where we don't focus on those things. And for the longest time, that's what I'm saying. Critical analysis is needed for whatever you see in life. Whatever you see or hear, you're supposed to always look at it with a critical frame of thought. You're never supposed to believe in the hypno or the television, because most of the time, these people are operating with an agenda. They're reading off of teleprompters and they're not telling the complete and total truth. That's what it is. It's all manipulation. And to be in control of information is then to control what people think. So I'll just leave you with that. Remember, everything that you see and hear needs critical thinking, but most of the times, most of it is not what it appears. This is what I'm saying. This is the construct. I'm gonna leave that alone and keep on going. Anyway, B. Marshall and Ryan Clark are really haters. That's what Tramal says. Thank you for that, Kevin. Thank you for that, family. Much love to my dog, GM Kevin. GLP says, yes, this is possible. You never know. Irvin says, we have so many practice squad MVPs. It's not even funny. Y'all be acting like they the next Jerry Rice. No, we not saying they the Jerry Rice, but we don't need them to be Jerry Rice. You know what I'm saying? We got our guys. We just need them to contribute. You know what I'm saying? When they get out there and make a catch or make a block, we need them to be productive when they show up on the field. That's all you can ask of these guys. And if they develop higher, then that's what it is. Kevin says, I feel the next original. Kevin, you crazy. Red Hood Saint says the Saints make a lot of their roster out of players. They can pay multiple positions. Very smart, in my opinion. Yes, that's very smart. Get one player to do 2 or 3 things. That means you can save roster spots for key positions that you may need. Like the Saints will keep, instead of keeping 4 backup or 5 backup offensive linemen, the Saints will usually keep 3 of them on the active roster. And usually those guys can play tackle, guard, or center. Very smart strategy. Very smart strategy. Really is. Let's see. James says, I really see some of Jimmy Graham and Adam Troutman. I think it's Sean Payton's game plan. Troutman has good hands and good at contested catches, a bit slower than Jimmy, but that's why I see him. And that's a good call, James, because if you look at Troutman, and I watched his footage, he's big. Number one, has soft hands, and he makes really difficult catches. Now, I was watching his footage. He's not as fast as you would want to be, but the Saints are serious about him. He might not be a big factor this year, but I'm telling you, he'll be on the active roster. He'll be a third tight end on the active roster. Don't be surprised if you see a lot of him this year, and don't be surprised by next year he's starting. Troutman is a dude that they signaled out. They and gave up all these picks to land this fella, and they see him as the future at the tight end position. I done heard some people compare this guy to Olsen. Greg Olsen used to play for the Chicago Bears in Carolina. I've seen scouting reports on Troutman, and if you look at the footage between him and Olsen, there's similarities. So if he can be just that for the Saints, we could have something special in him, and I think we do have something special in Troutman. He will fit well in the Saints system because he can block and catch, and he can get behind. He has deceptive. He ain't super fast, but he has the speed to sneak behind the linebackers, and he's big enough to make, and he has long arms. He can make those soft hands grabs, and he's a good red zone weapon. Very good pickup for the Saints. I love it. Tramal says, Kevin, Dime Piece might want to watch next time. Drew says, need another reliable target like also Troutman, a great blocker, help up on the running game. Kevin says, no more talk, Q. Let's get it done and hold up that Lombardi. That's right. It's getting to that time of the year, family, where the Saints went through the draft. We went through free agency. We signed an undrafted guys, and of course, we'll start making cuts on, or depending on who we did. We went over the article early on from Bob Rose, and we'll see about having Bob on the show the next 7 to 10 days. Get some more Saints talk and break out some more stuff. So we'll see about that. Gerard says Cole Kmet and Adam Troutman were the two top tight ends. Kmet wasn't number one and Troutman was number two. To get him is absolutely terrific. And I think, and if you look at the Saints draft, they addressed the positions that were supposed to. The offensive line were Ruiz, moving McCoy to right guard, and then, solidifying that center interior offensive line. Going defense with the next pick that they had, getting Bond, and then of course Bond can play linebacker for you, and then he can be a situational pass rusher. 2 birds, 1 stone. Then of course the third tight end. I kept talking about the Saints need to bring back the 3 tight end package that they had so much success in the Super Bowl years and the years where they were winning a lot of games. Look what they did. Sean Payton gets Troutman to go along with Hill and Cooks. That's a pretty good 3, and you're gonna start seeing that 3 tight end package again. So, and then the undrafted market where the Saints loaded up. We got really good linebackers. Batchy will be good, and you're looking at the offensive linemen. The offensive linemen look good. Wide receivers, and the running back is the big thing. The running back is a big thing. Out of Notre Dame. Watch out for him, family. So I'd like to thank all the family members for joining the stream. We're getting toward the end of the show, family. I thank y'all for joining us on live stream, man. Much love to y'all. Thank y'all for joining us on the live stream. As we get ready to leave, I'm not going to hold y'all tonight. It's an hour and 30 minutes. It's over. It's almost 10:30, and I know a lot of people have to go to work. Just felt good to be able to talk to the Saints about this. Who that to you, Ernest? I see you, family. Much love to you. But for those who don't know, you can feel free to tune in to Pro Radio, and that's pretty much the Pro Media Network on Spreaker.com/The Sports Coma, where you can listen to the Sports Coma, Pelican Post Game Report, Ring Kings Boxing, and Tough Tiger Talk. Several of our podcasts are available on Spreaker.com/The Sports Coma. You can also know that we're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Castbox, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere where there are podcasts, you can find the Sports Coma and all of its, and the PRO Media Network, but all of its podcasts and shows. So please feel free, family, to be able to check that out as well. Also, to let the family members know that if you love the stream and you think the platform and you respect it, please know that the Pro Shop is available as well. The link's in the description section for the Pro Shop, and you can go there. There's well over 35 different designs: coffee cups, smartphone cover cases, shirts, all kind of memorabilia, Saints related memorabilia is available on the shop. I mean, literally hundreds of dozens of products are available on the Pro Shop. for men, women, and children. Onesies, all kind of stuff, man. You'd be amazed. And just released, we had several new designs that were released as of recently. The new Great Saints Think Tank, the Sports Coma Great Saints Think Tank shirt was designed and is available now on the Pro Shop as well. And there are other shirts. Drew Orleans, the Drew Orleans shirt is available there. Built Drew Orleans Tough, the shirts is built that as well. And then we got a second derivative shirts coming out of a Drew Orleans Volume 2, a V2 shirt that'll be available by next week as well, or probably by the weekend. We'll let you know, but you can go and check the Pro Shop out. The links is in the description section below, and you can get a 15% discount with the code Stay Strong. That's a code that we put through this entire pandemic, and we'll be having it. So stay strong, stay strong, stay strong is the code to use to get 15% off if you want to support the platform. And of course, to let the family members know as well, is that to become a member, to listen to other, to help the platform out. Either way, excuse me, I'm a little tired. Family had a busy day. To become a member of the Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/the PRO Media Network. That's patreon.com/the PRO Media Network. Become a patron of the show like so many beautiful Black and Gold family members do. You get your access to unreleased Sports Coma content that we do every week called TSC Q&A Live, which we do breakdowns that the rest who are not Patreons don't see, but there's unreleased content. And then there's access to the show on Q with Big Q, which I talked about earlier about critical thinking and that type of stuff is what we talk about on the show. Also, we mix a little sports into it. We got a light and heavy side of it, I want to say, but it's a balance there. But we talk about stuff, and if you feel like you might be looking for something to make sense of what's going on, maybe On Q with Big Q is the show for you. All to get it, sign up on patreon.com/the Pro Media Network to listen to On Q with Big Q. So that's some of the stuff I want to bring to you. And once again, thank all the beautiful Black and Gold family members for all y'all do, man. Y'all terrific. Y'all awesome people. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And the mere fact that so many people are subscribing, we're exploding with the numbers. We're exploding in viewers. We're exploding all over the place. And I want to make an announcement to the family members. Probably another coming up in this upcoming month. We'll have some more stuff coming up, and we'll have some information we'll be releasing about the platform, stuff like that, as we begin to expand a little bit more here with the content and whatnot. So some very exciting news coming up real soon. So just subscribe and hit your notifications so you can be notified of community postings when we post it on our platform as well. So a lot of great stuff is coming down the pipe for you guys as well. And you know, it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna answer a few more questions before I leave the chat. Big ups to all the Black and Gold family members. Gerard says, can you believe it? Jameis Winston is a saint. Very strange indeed. I'm still thinking about it, but I heard him say who that. I played it coming in starting the show. Jameis Winston said who that, and I was like, oh well, he a saint now. He said who that. Anderson Baker said, I think Winston will do real good behind our O-line because it's way better than what he was used to playing behind. That's true. Our O-line is top 5 in the league. I do agree with you on that, Anderson. Thank you. Who that to you? Troy, big ups to you, my fam. Demi, 985. All y'all, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Ernest says, how do you believe Jameis playing any live snaps this season unless Breeze is hurt? I agree with you. I don't think he plays that much. I think Taysom does, but we'll see how it shakes. Hopefully we don't even have to address this because Drew will stay healthy. He'll stay upright. He'll play Deshaun is going to run him out of balanced attack, and we're going to really knock off these chumps. We're going to do some tough stuff to him. But I'd like to thank all y'all for joining the live stream tonight. I'm not going to keep y'all 3 hours tonight. I know y'all got to go to work. Y'all ain't going to be mad at me for keeping y'all up late. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. If you're interested in joining the Patreon page, the link's in the description section below. If you're interested in donating to the platform, the Cash App and the PayPal stuff is in the description section below. And just check out the description section below. Have all kind of links to all kind of stuff down there. So when you get an opportunity, take a look at that as well. So I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. Peace. Who dat? And I'll see you on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talk indeed. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma.